Morning, -2 here from Disturbia. You can see very anomalously here I have frost on my windshield, and here I don't. That's because the sun was so-called shining. It's really more of an electromagnetic glow on this side of the car. The sun in winter does not melt frost. I mean, you can see there's nothing even melted here. Probably there was no formation of frost. I don't know. It's just really strange. Take a look here. You've always got the ubiquitous white in front of the sun. This is what they call land development here. Take a look at our new mascot here in Rodenbach. Frontwards and backwards. The serpent. They're not hiding anything anymore. Look at this blob here that's going to fall down. It's just breaking up, sublimating. Look at this. Look what they're doing to the ground. It's just so disgusting. I just pray every day to God that He just destroy it. He just turn over those tractors like Lego pieces. That He break the antennas like matchsticks, and He will one day when He comes in wrath. Look at this. You know, they take down trees and put up parking lots, just like that song. The King of Paradise put up a parking lot. Look at this. There used to be trees all here. They took them all out, and then they put up those little twigs that are probably never going to take. And then up here we've got quite a few trees down. It's really sad. I mean, but, you know, everybody's been seeing it coming for years. A lot of trees are black. Some of them are just completely bare. Lots of trees down. Let me just show you this. And they're very proud of that. The forces that should not be, well, they're belly aching about war taking place in different countries. Nobody's talking about the war that is happening on these trees. And if the trees are dying, then we're dying. Simple as that. It's not that hard to connect these dots. These trees look like amputees. Speaking of which, on YouTube recently, I cannot believe my eyes, what I've been seeing. I mean, it's just like, I just cannot believe it. Stuff that you never saw before in your whole life. And even people that get elective surgery, plastic surgery. I mean, you know, I don't know. I don't want to pass judgment on anybody, but I've never seen anything like that. Recently I saw this picture and I thought, oh my God, what is that? The Bride of Frankenstein? Both of his arms, under his arms, above his armpits, or under his armpits, I should say, across his chest, on both sides. And then his legs, in his inner thighs cut open. And then all around his midsection to his back. And this man, he had had plastic surgery. He wanted a different body. And the video itself, the doctor was showing you his prized possession, showing you what he had done to this patient, and I just could not believe, like I say. And he said, the doctor said that this patient was in his 13th day after surgery. And it looked like it had just only been like a half hour after. He was completely red. He had drainage tubes coming out of his back. And I just thought, you know, dear God, who would do something like this to himself or herself? It was a man. They didn't show the face. They didn't say the name. But they showed a before picture and an after picture. I don't know if it was the right before picture. I can't even tell you. But one thing that this doctor said really stuck with me. It struck me. He said, you know, when you heal up from this, it'll take maybe, I don't know what he said, 6 months? But he said, when you do, you're going to be looking at yourself in the mirror all day. You're going to be so obsessed with your own body. And I thought, yeah, this is the problem that we have. We're obsessed with our bodies, which are dust. And putting yourself through all that pain just because imagine the vanity. You know, I can imagine, like I said, I don't even want to say what I think. But I felt, really, when I saw this man, it was really pitiful. It's like, oh my God, you're willing to spend thousands, probably tens of thousands of dollars to have yourself butchered like that. You don't know the outcome. How often have you seen failed attempts at plastic surgeries where everything falls, including when you have a facelift? Somebody in my family was going on about her gray hair and wanting a facelift, and I was, oh no. You know, for what? Why? Why would you do that to yourself? The thing is, you don't see yourself anyhow. Unless, like that doctor was telling the Bride of Frankenstein, you look in the mirror all day. And probably there are people that do that. I had a colleague that did that all the time. She was constantly pulling out her compact and looking at herself to see if her wrinkles had gotten any deeper in the last 5 minutes. And to me, that's just really, the thing is, you are dust. And admittedly, I never was able to really be conceited about myself, my body, or anything like that. So in a way, if you're in that position, you're lucky. Whereas people that are born and they're just lucky, they have a beautiful body, they have a beautiful face, they have a real pleasant disposition, and everybody loves them. It's much harder for them, to say goodbye to beauty. Although I have to say, when I was a teenager, I was quite pretty. I didn't have gray hair, I didn't have wrinkles, I didn't have a sunken-in face. But, it didn't take long to see the first gray hair, the first wrinkles coming. They come in your 30s, I started getting little gray hairs when I was 28 already. And I have to say that you should never be ashamed of your hair, Jesus said what goes out of the body is that which defiles it, the mind. But this is the tenor of society nowadays. Everything is about looks. I saw a video the other day on Friday. The thing is, you get one video on your feed, and if you watch one, they're all like that afterwards. And I had this video on my feed about I don't even know what to call him. It was a man who had plastic surgery because he said he wanted to be a woman. But I'll tell you what, you're not going to be a woman just because you have your nose chiseled or your cheeks lifted. And the thing is, even after many surgeries, when he was he had a really big breast also. And I thought, golly jeepers, is that all plastic in there? Silicone? I don't know. It's not natural, whatever it is. And it doesn't make you a woman. That's what's so sad about it. I'm not really saying anything new. It's actually a cliche. But God made a male and female, and just because he said when he was 5 years old he wanted to be a woman, I doubt very highly if any 5-year-old boy would say, I don't want to be a boy, I want to be a woman. I could imagine him saying, I want to be a girl. But at 5, you're not going to be a woman. Even if you are a girl, you're still not going to be a woman. You have to wait and grow up first. So anyway, when this man was laying down on the operating table, he looked like, you saw him from the bottom of the end of the table and looking down at his face, and I thought, he still looks like a man. He sort of reminded me of Kevin Spacey in a way. Just that real mealy mouth look. And I just thought, how much do they pay you to put this crap on? And anyway, you're seeing all kinds of amputations happening. And, a lot of people can't help it, but there's just so much out there now. It's like an optical assault. There's times when I don't even really want to look, like that guy that had this surgery that I don't know what he was. It's like. And then there was another guy who had his face done, and he had lips the size of Montana. Oh, and a rear end to match. But he identified as a man, you see. You're getting all kinds of variables nowadays. A man that's very effeminate, that wants to be a woman, but is keeping his package. I mean, at least he's not letting himself be butchered, but he had some kind of a huge implant put in his rear end. Unbelievable. All this is going to... This is what aggravates health, really. Just, adding iron into the clay and plastic. Oh, my goodness. I don't know. It's just like, when I had cancer it wasn't really on my tailbone. It was between my tailbone and on my sacrum. And it sat more or less, started chewing away at the sciatic nerve. Really painful. I was around 8 when it started. And then by the time I was 15, I had surgery on my back for something else. And before the back surgery, the doctor asked me, what's wrong with your leg? What's wrong with your foot? Because the sciatic nerve goes all the way down your leg into the foot. And when that's wrecked, you're going to have a hard time. And, I had done dancing before that and everything. And when I realized that, I was never really going to be able to walk again normally or dance or anything like that, I mean, it was like this realization that struck me. On the other hand, I had been so sick for all those years, and in a way, it did bother me, and it still does, because people stare all the time, and that's not a nice feeling. But you have to realize, if somebody were coming at me that looked like me and walked like me, I'd stare at them too, probably. But, like in the United States, it's a little bit different culture. Look at this blue column here, all the way around the rim. And in the United States, normally they'd ask you what's wrong. But here, they just stare at you. And it's not a great feeling or anything like that. But I'm just saying that, and then there are people that get operations so that people will stare at them. And so that they will look crazy, And that's what they want. I don't know. The body is really arbitrary. You can be lucky or unlucky, but what really matters is what comes out of your mouth, because that is where the fullness of the heart speaks. And everything else is not that important. You can see this fluff is going to start filling out the sky and falling down to create more heat. We're breathing it in. It's just, I don't know, it's a catastrophe, really. Anyhow, salvation is only in the Messiah. Please repent, believe the truth, be saved, endure, and overcome. Amen.